Hey guys, Caleb here with Steve Meyer Service today to show you how to track a 2020 to 2022 Toro Timecutter. Now this video is going to work for 34, 42, 50, 54, and 60-inch Timecutters. So before we can get started on how to track the machine, there's a couple things that we got to make sure. Number one, we got to make sure that the tire pressure is nice and level. We suggest 12 psi in the rear. On your 34 and your 42s, we suggest a 20 psi in the front. And then on your 50s, we suggest 50s, 54s, and 60s, we suggest to be somewhere in that 15 to 17 psi range. So once we got our tire pressure good, then we got to make sure that we're about to track it on a nice flat level surface. So we got the shop floor here in the warehouse. That's a nice flat concrete surface that we're about to track it on. So that's covered. Then we need to take a look and see what bolt heads we need to adjust in order to properly adjust the tracking. So we got one here on the left, and then we got one here on the right. Now these are a 7/16 bolt head. So you just take the open end of a wrench like so. That's going to fit right on there, and then we'll be able to adjust that to adjust the tracking. Now to help you understand what we are adjusting, if you take a look in this opening right here, you're going to see this black cam gear right here, which this is where the bolt on this side was running all the way through. And then if you see that silver flat piece right there, that's actually your actuator arm. And so what happens is when we loosen or tighten that bolt, that is actually going to move that cam gear this way or this way, and that's actually going to change the distance in which this control arm can come forward. So what we need to do before we can start tracking is we need to identify, as you're sitting on the mower, is the mower going to the left or is the mower going to the right? And that's going to help us figure out which side to adjust. So what I like to do is slow down whatever side is going faster. So let's take, for example, we got this mower here. It's going a little bit to the left. So what we're going to do is actually slow down the right hand side, which means that we're going to turn on the bolt that's in there. When you take a look at this bolt, you can see that there's a slot right there. So that means that in order to adjust the tracking, we're going to go counterclockwise, which means this way. Now, one thing we want to keep in mind, the adjustment on this is pretty touchy. So when you move that, you don't have to move it, by the quarter turn. We're probably moving it by the 1/8 inch turn. Or not 1/8 inch, but 1/8 turn. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're doing this, is that it is pretty touchy. So, all right, we're gonna switch and I'll hop on the unit and you can see me track it. Okay guys, that's how you track a Toro Timecutter 2020 to 2022 model. Thanks for watching.